I guess I'll be first.
Go for it.
Tommy Stacking again. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Guys, what a pleasure to be back on the Crucible. Emil, Paulie, so good to see both of you. And I had mentioned something has changed since the last time we've done this. The last time we did this, I had met Emil already.
Oh.
And now I finally had the pleasure of meeting you.
Ah, that's right. That's right. Take me back a couple months.
Yes, the pleasure was all mine.
No. It was all mine. I had to track you down after I seen you. I said, we didn't even get a picture, man. You didn't charge
That's
me.
true.
You didn't charge me for the picture, which was nice.
It's normally $5. But
I paid $5. I did it.
Business has been good, so you know.
That was in Chicago, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Chicago. Yeah.
That's
what
awesome.
a fun time that was.
Did you guys grab lunch or anything, or?
No.
No,
we did
you
not.
know, it's one.
You
of
don't
those
get in
things.
a way of man in business, and I knew what was going on, and
Yep.
I just went my way. He went his way, and we bumped paths in the middle at some point in time.
Absolutely, a very pleasurable bumping of paths.
That's right. That's
Tommy,
right.
are you going to be in Baltimore
When?
for the Baltimore show?
What is it, like
the big
November 12th, 13th, 14th? Something like that.
It's not impossible. That is the week of Chattanooga that I do twice a year, November and May, I believe, is Chattanooga, or March, one of those months. But we do Chattanooga twice a year. So I think it's right around there. It's not impossible. It's only about an hour and a half from where I live. So it's a good show for me to do.
No kidding. Yeah, Baltimore is about an hour and a half from my mom's place, so I might crash there and head up. So
if you do, let me know for sure.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about tonight, guys?
What are we talking about tonight, guys?
Paul, you had something pulled up on your extra screen that might be right along the lines of this, right? Colorized.
I mean, yeah, something. I can
Colorized,
add
yeah.
it. Let's add it.
Yeah. Show this. What is this?
All
This
right,
is the
so
new feature.
This
I know
hasn't
what
even
that
been
is.
seen yet. This is something I'm recording tomorrow. This is a rune from Germania Mint. So this is their latest and
Absolutely.
greatest. You can get their UV light, and it's kind of small, but what it does is it has this effect right here.
Isn't that cool?
It is.
That looks like Monster energy drink. Like the color.
It has that vibe, doesn't it?
They are actually really, really neat pieces, and they are, what are they? This is number 214 out of 2,500.
Cool.
What got me started with Germania Mint was that logo, their mint mark right in the center of that bar. I saw that first bullion eagle they did, the golden eagle.
Mhm.
And I had started talking about this is the first coin that their mint mark had been on. And then they happened to catch that video somewhere down the line, contacted me, and they let me review all their stuff, which is really, really cool. And it's great because they put out a great product. And that's what I like talking about.
Germania is without a doubt, a world's class top tier operation. Their packaging, their creativity, their art, they are a company everybody should look up to, whether you're a consumer or in the industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally agree.
And, Germania was one of the mints that inspired me to go in the direction that I've gone into in the last couple of years, which is colorization. And we're in a world, there's nothing new under the sun, right? We all draw inspiration from something or from someone or an entity, and I'm no different, right? I didn't invent colorization. But about 2 years ago, one of the benefits we have of being a dealer, right? A bullion dealer, when you have access to wholesale accounts and other businesses, and you're active daily, you have the unique perspective to be able to identify trends as they're unfolding. So one of the things I noticed, 2 to 3 years ago, was that I was selling a lot of colorized pieces. And I said, this is great. This is interesting. And I loved them, right? Yep. I was always a fan. I thought it was just a beautiful way to enhance the art of an already beautiful, product, precious metals. So my brother make a long story short, as we affectionately call him, Picasso Bob, has been in the printing industry. My family's been in the printing industry, for the over a span of 40 to 50 years.
Wow.
Right. It started in New York with my mother starting a newspaper and so on. My brother went to work for her at an early age and just developed graphic design skills, technical abilities. And so I looked at him one day and I said, listen, Bob, I showed him a silver coin. I said, have you ever printed on metal? He looks at me and says, no, but I could. And that was it.
And that was it.
That was it. Within a week, we went to a local dealer of Roland equipment. That's the equipment that we use for ultraviolet colorization. They're close enough that we have support, which is, oh God, so important. These machines break down. So anybody who's thinking about this, and I'm going to kind of end with this topic also. If anybody's thinking about it, think about the support, think about the technical skills that you have. And some people have more, some people have less. But if you don't have them, you need the support, and it should be local, right? So for us, it was great to have this. We paid up for it, right?
Sure.
Worth every penny tenfold. And that's where Keystone was born. When Team Stacking NYC sort of evolved into Keystone Stacking. And boy, was it a work in progress, right? So the question I'm asking myself now after 2 years of doing this, is colorization fad or is it fashion? And I would kind of think about this from a dealer's perspective. I wear many hats. I'm a collector, I'm a dealer, producer, sure, manufacturer. And I oftentimes think when that question is posed to me, because not only do I think of myself as part of my business, but it's posed to me. Is this trend going to last? Because it's immensely popular right now, as you guys know. Yeah. And my answer is simple. I don't have a crystal ball, but just like any form of investing or speculating, you look at history. And history tells us, if you go back to the 70s, right, with the and I always have a ton of them, but the art bar craze,
yeah,
right? You think about it, it's 1973, 1974, 1975, 1976, 4 years straight. And what happened during those 4 years? And it's such a fascinating form of history repeating itself. You had, some of the early mints, somebody like Steve Austin is an incredible encyclopedia of knowledge about this type of stuff. Right. You had early mints that said, hey, we've got a great idea. And then a second mint did it. And then a third mint did it. And then a fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10, ad nauseum. Yeah. Until it said, collapse.
Yeah.
Now, those pieces, if you've watched them over the years, some have become multiples of spot. Some have become spot plus $5. They vary widely. So when people talk to me about colorization, I say, look at the 70s. Look at the way history has treated these types of moments in the business cycle. Mm-hmm. And I think that's sort of where we are. We don't know what's going to happen. I think we certainly have a few years left. But time will tell, right? I don't think it's going anywhere. Just like art bars didn't actually go anywhere. People still do art bars, but they had their moment in the sun. And that's where colorization is right now for sure. And it's not going to go anywhere. I believe the answer to the question is it's fashion. But right now we're in this sort of gold rush mentality, which I can keep talking forever, but I want to hear some of the thoughts from you guys too.
Well, you compare it to fashion. So you say fashion, first thing that comes to my mind is Tommy Hilfiger. My kids kind of tease me for once a year. I'll go and spoil myself and buy an outfit, right? The Tommy Hilfiger outfit. Why do I buy that stuff that's so out of fashion? Maybe for you it's out of fashion, but that's what I grew up on. Was a big thing. And Tommy Hilfiger today is still not out of fashion. It's just not as popular to the younger generation as it was back in the 80s and 90s.
Correct. Absolutely. And it's ultimately what makes it fashion in my mind is that it's timeless.
That's just it. It's timeless stuff. I still today buy their original cologne because I love the smell of it. It's never changed, and the wife likes the smell of it. So there you go.
Right. I mean, if you look at fashion trends, like literal, like clothing fashion trends through the centuries, let's say, nobody's dressing the way they dressed in the 1700s.
Right.
So that was
right.
Because it wasn't practical. It wasn't functional. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't, any of these things. It was just, you must do this because this is the fashion.
Yeah.
But if you had a garment from the 1700s today, there'd be a market for it because that is collector. It's a collector piece.
I imagine so.
So Tom, when you have a design in mind, you just relay that to your brother and he drafts it up for you. How does that work?
So right now, all roads lead from an artist. My brother is an incredible graphic designer. He's an incredible technician. He knows the machines like, you call him a UV whisperer. But the truth is he's not a classic artist. Mostly what we're doing right now, what's keeping us tremendously busy, is just working for other dealers. We have about a half a dozen dealers we work with, including Captain's Chess Bullion, Marvin Ellis, Dave Jones from the Locker Mint, just an incredible host of phenomenal dealers. They keep us plenty busy. We work with JM Bullion. Right now they have an order in for 3,300 pieces that we've been working on.
Nice.
Keeps us extremely, extremely busy, which also limits our time to put forth our own designs. Right? We're still a small family operation, and we're pushing through, just on sheer grit and will. So, but the way that the concept works is that people will send us the art, and my brother will make it work with the template, and then the interface, and then bring it to life through the printer.
Turnaround time?
Yeah.
It varies. Right now, probably it can be a week to 10 days.
Wow, that's really quick.
Yes, it is very quick. One of the reasons we're quick, and this is funny because other people said, "Oh, you're quick. I mean, for what you're charging, this is so easy and unbelievable." What you don't see is that it's my brother, it's Joe, it's JR, it's Alicia, it's me communicating, it's Joe communicating, it's Bob doing the technical work, it's Joe doing the prep work, it's JR preparing the shipping, it's Alicia running to the post office, it's so there's all these things. So yeah, we are pretty quick, but it's a team of 5.
Right.
It's a team of 5 that we have here,
yep.
which is still small. So we're looking forward to growing and making it 6, 7, 20.
1,700.
So you're talking, it's as simple, not as simple. I don't want to say as simple as anything. But
everybody thinks everything is simple. What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
No, right. No, but what I meant by that is I've got a design. It took me a while to work on. I shoot that email to you and you handle it from there. And then it ends up UV printed on anything that I want it printed on, whether it's a cast bar or a silver round.
Yep. We do rounds. We do minted pieces. We do Libertads. This is one of my favorite Libertads that we did, by the way. The Snow Libertad. There's different finishes. It really runs the gambit. We can do marketing for businesses.
That's neat. That's neat.
Just a limited to 100 thing we did with drip. We can do minted pieces like Libertads. This one in particular, it's going to be hard.
Hold that one up. I'm going to bring you full screen just to show that.
It's completely. A beautiful, beautiful piece from Captain's Chess Bullion. This one in particular has select gloss, which makes it extra special. Give me a second. I want to make sure I have this oriented correctly. But what a tremendous job. And we did select gloss on the devices, which just makes them pop. That's a great piece. This is the piece that really broke us out. Totally different finish, totally different product. This is the Stacking Across America series. The license plates, where it's minted on one side, Stacking Across America, and we did all 50 states.
That's neat.
Yeah, that is.
So that was one of our biggest sellers. We've probably sold Each state was limited to 1,000. We're probably in about 20,000 pieces.
Whoa.
Over the last year and a half.
Dang.
No doubt.
It's been tremendous. It's really been a blessing. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of gray hair. But I'm grateful for all of it.
I feel you.
So do you typically print to order, like for something like that? Like you don't have 50,000 pieces sitting around, right?
Sort of I do.
Sort of he do. Wow.
Sort of he does.
Awesome.
So I partner with a major bullion dealer that hedges for me. So at any given moment, I have access to whatever I need to. And what do I mean by that, right? So normally if you wanted to order from a mint, right, at an affordable price, they're going to say, okay, minimum order 1,000, minimum order 2,000, an affordable price. We're talking like, right, to really make this work from a manufacturing or production standpoint.
Right.
So I don't always have the money to say, okay, well, here's, $36,000. I need 1,000. And then maybe I only need 300. Right. Mm-hmm. So I work with a partner that will buy 2,000 at a time here of this product, 3,000 of this product. He's got 4,000 plates sitting for me for the JM order. He's got this, and he holds on to it and he hedges it. So whenever it's going to be +1, +2, +3, whatever, and he'll make his money. He'll make 25 to 50 cents a piece, and he's happy with that.
It adds up,
no doubt.
And I order them 200 at a time, 300 at a time. Some weeks it's 1,000 of this product, 500 of that product. Some weeks it's 200 of this, 200 of that. And it really varies. So to have a partner like that is really a blessing as well.
For sure. If you want to drop his name, no, I'm just kidding.
Hey, what about longevity of that printing on top of that stuff? Has that been looked at or tested? I mean, have you done some wear and tear on it? I mean,
absolutely.
Just sitting in your safe, it should be okay. If you wanted to take it out, is it easily removed by just kind of rubbing on it? Is it there for good?
So I've talked to people about this 1,000 times, right? In the early days, we did have a couple of issues. We had a bad chemical. We learned so much. Why was it bad? What happened? Here's the simple answer is it's extremely durable. Normal wear and tear, even out of the capsule, right?
Uh-huh.
You can throw it around. If it hits something hard, it could chip. Absolutely. Sure. But this is what I tell people, right? You're going to pay $50, $60 for a piece of silver, right? Aren't you going to treat it like that?
Yeah, right.
I mean, You want to know what happens if you run it over with a car? Sure. I'll tell you what. Buy a proof.
I've lit Goldbacks up.
The U.S. mints and run it over and tell me how the U.S. mint holds up. Right? Tell me how any piece of silver is going to hold up to abuse. It's going to scuff. It's going to scratch. It's ultimately a soft metal, right? So it's going to show wear and tear. I mean, that's what silver does. The colorization isn't any harder than the silver. If you, I'm gonna pull one out and kind of show, but there we go. It's in there pretty good. There we go. So the long story short is, you can scratch it with your fingernail. You can hear that, right?
Oh yeah.
And nothing's gonna happen.
That's awesome.
You can hit it. The pen.
Just beating Trump down.
Bad orange man. No, I did not mean that. I swear I didn't mean that. But
that's going to be the intro teaser on my video.
Yeah, I might join you with that.
But and there's different finishes. There's gloss. There's matte finishes. These are all things that are gonna be survival. There's translucent finishes. This is a product that I've been working on with Northview. I think
I saw that on your Instagram.
This is a ½ ounce. It's not cheap, but
did you say ½ ounce?
Shaped. It's a ½ ounce.
That's pretty flat.
It's huge.
Yeah. It is, and that's why people are like,
that's wild.
It's so pricey. I'm like, you know what? What do the runes cost? $100.
Yeah.
If you extrapolate, this is about $110 an ounce. I believe we're at $55.
Just look at that. I mean, so this is a ½ ounce as well, and this is this is one of those shields.
Yeah, and they're going for about $35-$40.
Yeah.
This is colorized. It's in display. It's shaped. It's supporting several small businesses. Northview Products,
I like
big
those
shout
displays,
out.
by the way.
You know, and it comes in a display. And if you don't want to display, you take it out and you throw it like a ninja star.
Hey,
But that's one of my favorite pieces right now. But you know, and the back is done. It's lasered. Donald Trump, 45th president. So, but you know, it's funny because he's been the biggest seller without a doubt.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We talked about it here, you know, for a little bit. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
This was our first big seller. I think in like 48 hours we sold about 800 of these.
Ooh.
That's his mug shot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the ability that you have with print on demand. When you own a printer like this, right? Donald Trump has a mugshot. Boom, we have it the next day on a coin or a round.
Yep.
The assassination attempt. This was probably through Capsules Chess Bullion, one of our biggest sellers. You know,
fumble.
Dang it. Follow
in
it.
a capsule.
This is limited. And look, no wear and tear, no damage.
No wear and tear, no nothing. So that looks like it's got a little gloss to it. Is that?
So this one does not have gloss. This is
okay. So maybe it's the capsule
finish.
Yeah,
okay.
It's iridescent. I was gonna say it almost looks holographic.
Yeah. That's okay. That's the look I was, I guess, thinking of.
Yeah, this is kind of a look where
that's neat.
We allow the silver to do some of the work. Ooh. If that makes sense.
That's neat.
Yeah, that's the day after Eagle. So we do Eagles, we do Libertads. Trump is been our number one commodity for sure.
Tom, I
would say between Trump and Stacking Across America, it's a tie. Trump
when you go to
America.
Go to the shows, what's the reception like from the let's say from the more seasoned stacking community?
The old dudes,
the old heads.
So what I find is that there has been some resistance to like, that would never work with my clientele. And we definitely get that. But I would say it's definitely doing better than they think. So I'll give you an example. I have a friend who's well connected in the bullion world, and he's well established. I think he's been on your show. I'm not going to mention his name at the moment. But
you, Emil?
But he's like, I don't know, Tommy. I don't know, man. I don't know about the colorized stuff. I said, listen, just try it. I'm gonna give you a great price. Says, all right, I'll take 50. 3 days later, you got another 50?
Yup.
Not anymore. You got any more?
A month later, can I get another 50? So he said to me, he said, I can't believe how well this is doing with my clientele.
No doubt.
And I said, it's like those, it's like the saying, if you build it, they will come, right? Yep. If you offer it to people, you'll be surprised at the reaction. We didn't know where this was going to go for sure. I like to think that I knew where it was going to go, but I'm too honest to say I know. But I suspected that this could take off. And like I said, I didn't invent it. We didn't invent it. But I will say that we kind of made it cool on social media.
That's right.
Sure.
And that was sort of a collective effort, with us on the production side and dealers, just, some great dealers out there, just pushing it and saying, hey guys, put your eyes on this. And when you give people that opportunity, they're either going to bite or won't, Yep.
That's the power of social media. That's the value of having a big following.
Yep. 100%.
Let me ask you about the stickerized stuff. No good. Get it if you like it. I mean, obviously it's not what you're doing, but a lot of it is out there, and sometimes
they're not
stickers. I was gonna say sometimes people don't think they are, or they're not, or they are stickers.
I can literally explain this, and I might even have a faulty sample here. Give me 1 second. One second. Because this is a great.
The thing that pops up in my head is that DC, what you opened up, Husky from New Zealand.
Mm.
Give me 1 second.
1, 2.
He's gonna pull out something good.
I know he is.
So let me just see. Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
He needed a bathroom break. Don't lie, Tommy.
So how embarrassing is this? My girlfriend tells me I want my daughter's Sweet 16 pictures on a coin. Boom, boom, boom. Now remember, I said early failure rates. You know, and we're going to talk more about failure rates. But this is the way it peeled off.
Oh.
Now
Okay.
I can assure you, this is not a sticker.
Okay.
Okay. I can assure you, this is the product of our ultraviolet, high-tech machine. The reason it comes off like this is because the base chemical was bad. And just think about it like this.
So
if you go up,
that's just ink you're holding?
That's pure ink.
That's pure ink. Okay.
Pure ink. It's not paper.
No adhesive. Paper. Oh, look.
Correct. It's not paper. It's just pure ink. And if you think about the way any kind of paint or ink lies on a surface, you're brushing paint on a wall. If you scrape it, it comes off in a sheet.
Yep.
It's not a sticker.
You need a primer.
On your wall. Right. But even if you have the primer, you can really get a good, right?
Yeah.
And I talk about like the paint on your cars. You can take a key to it. It'll come off. This probably affected a couple hundred pieces early on. I thought it was the end of the world. All I could do was, look, I'm sorry. Here's the explanation. If you want a refund, I'll refund you. If you want a replacement, I'm happy to replace it. Since then, we probably had about 100 bad pieces. Since then, we've probably done, no exaggeration, I don't even know, 100,000 plus, with maybe 5 or 6 defects. And if you think about it, that blows away any manufacturing process out there. I don't care if you're manufacturing televisions or cars, I don't care what you're manufacturing. Like, it's beautiful, it's perfect, all but perfect, right? Early problems that we learned through, which is a great conversation. And I'm in the early days, I was like, when we first started having these problems, I was like, oh my God, I'm done. I'm bankrupt. I'm this, I'm that, because out of the 100 bad ones, we probably produced a few thousand pieces. It was still early. And I'm thinking, what if all 3,000-4,000 are bad? Right. Oh my God, this is gonna it's gonna sink my business. I mean, the sleepless nights I had, but it wasn't. It was just like a bad 100 pieces. That's all it was. It was just one. It was like maybe over a 2-week period, whatever it was. You know what I mean? And I was like, but it felt good to go through that in hindsight. Not at the moment, but in hindsight, I was like, all right, battle tested.
Sure.
Better it happened then than 2 years later after you've got 100,000 pieces out there.
Yes. And now we're good, I mean? And now it's funny because I would say out of the last 100,000 pieces, if we had 5 or 6, issues, I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm just saying, there are people who like to poke at it, try to, and if you do that, you'll find a problem if you try hard enough to make one.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that was cool. I mean, obviously not cool that it happened, but it's cool that you showed that's what that was.
I'm open about it. And
for sure. Yeah, 100%.
That's where the sticker rumor got started. It's because of the way the ink lays in layers, right? It's the way it comes off. Right? You think about the printing process. Yeah. And it's all uniform, layer over layer over layer, right? Down. And that's just the way it peels. Right? If there's an issue with adhesion or a chemical process.
Do you have any examples of some up and coming projects that you could share?
I don't, and I'll tell you why, because it's just a matter of the work belongs to the artists. So I have nothing of my own at the moment. I don't think I do.
New releases, maybe.
I have all kinds of things that you'll see out there, but they're from great artists like Reckless Metals.
Yep.
They're from great artists. Grind Cities. Well, Grind Cities is public, but Volmer's got one that nobody's seen yet. Next time I'm going to ask for permission. We'll show a sneak peek of something.
Gotcha.
But I can't violate their. I don't.
No, we wouldn't want you to do that at all.
But there's some great pieces. No, this one's been released already. King Lion.
Okay, so what's that on?
So this is on what we call a wreath round, where it's minted with weight and purity in a centerpiece, and the front is actually just blank.
Okay.
So we do.
So it's not an
products.
Eagle. It's not a Libertad.
Nope.
Okay.
We do double blank bars. We do one-sided blank bars with a minted other side. We do blank on one side rounds with a minted side. We do cast loaves. We work closely. We do a lot of products that come from Glines Roads. Really good cast stuff. And what I love, here's something interesting. Pay attention if you like the colorized stuff. Pay attention to the way the art pops on different pieces.
Okay.
You'll find that if you have a proof-like piece versus a satin finish piece versus a cast piece, and we could go through the same exact process, it'll still look a little different.
No kidding. That's cool.
It is kind of cool. It is kind of cool because sometimes it's like we get a new piece and people are like, can you do this? And I will tell you this, we're one of the only businesses that can just go from product to product. We're doing star shapes. I don't know of any other colorization mint that's doing star shapes.
Yeah, I've not seen that.
Right.
I mean, maybe some of the big boys. All right, let me digress.
Germania, something like that. Yeah.
Who are doing their own minting, their own all in-house vertical.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
But nobody else, even big printing wise, do I know that's doing William Witt's cards. You know, we're doing these. We're doing shapes. We're doing rounds, bars, loaves. The product diversity is unbelievable.
What's the largest piece you've done?
We've done 10-ounce bars.
No kidding.
Yep, we've done 10-ounce bars. Our printer bed is something like 2 feet by 4 feet.
So you could do one of those 1,000-ounce bars if you wanted to.
It might be a little bit heavy for the printer, but yes, I think we could. It might be a little heavy, but that's a lot of weight.
Doing slices.
Yeah.
Well, what if I sent you my flowing hair silver medal from the U.S. Mint? Could you make it so like it's got like it's a mullet rather than the flowing hair? Like turn it into a mullet.
We sure could.
Speaking of that, did you enter the lottery?
The flowing hair lottery.
Did you enter the flowing hair lottery?
Are you talking about directly from the U.S. Mint website?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I get mine through wholesalers.
Okay.
Okay.
I get mine secondary.
Okay.
So, and this is a great example of business model, and this applies to everybody. And I like to say things that I think are true, and everybody has their own experience. But I think there's wisdom in listening to people's thoughts. For me, the way I've conducted my business through social media is closer to a hybrid, meaning not a lot of guys on social media are working with wholesalers. Because of that, two things are true. One, I tend to pay more for my product that I'm reselling. But the benefit for me is I've got 20 of them, 40 of them, 60 of them.
Yeah.
So I try to make a fair profit, right? But I have a consistent supply. I'm just paying up a little bit more.
Right. Nice.
One of the interesting things that you talked about colorizing the flowing hair, I actually made some notes about bullion coins and colorizing them. This is on an eagle, right?
Yeah.
That's on an eagle. And the U.S. Mint isn't, going to come down and say, oh, whoa, what are you doing to U.S. currency? That is a non-circulating word. That's it. You're defacing. No, they're not going to do that, right? The Mexican Libertad, they're not going to do that. They're okay with it, right? They're okay with it. Who's not okay with it?
UK.
Don't touch Canadian coins.
Oh, Canadian.
If you can help it. We don't do Canadian coins. Perth doesn't like it, especially if you're talking about some of their licensed pieces. So stay away from Perth. We stay away from Perth. We stay away from Canada until I get a different sense or feeling from Banco Mexico or the U.S. Mint. To me, Libs and Eagles are fair game. Perth, Canadian Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, off limits as far as we're concerned.
I've seen a lot of colorized maples.
So This is the word on the street that I've heard. No reputable dealer with a wholesale account with the Royal Canadian Mint will ask for that to be done because their account is in danger of being suspended. So, if AppMex said, "Oh, here's our colorized maples," and they have an account with the Royal Canadian Mint, it could be like they probably get a warning first or whatever, because these are sizable dealers. But nobody wants to run afoul. Are there people that do it? Of course, smaller dealers. They probably don't have that direct relationship. But if it ever came to light where somebody's doing it, and there could be problems. It's sort of a small world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sort of a small world.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I mean, I've seen colorized Perth Mint coins, but I guess they do that in house.
Correct, and that's funny. It's funny you say that because that's the other part of this is that Perth Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, what makes them different from the U.S. Mint and Banco Mexico is they have colorization processes in house.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like my girlfriend, Lady D, would say, "You better don't." You better don't. They don't want competition.
So that actually brings up
colorizing SpongeBob.
That actually brings up something important too, because of what the U.S. Mint is doing next year and the following year and the following year after that with the DC comics, and those are going to be colorized. So who's doing that work?
Tommy.
No.
Hey, now that would be sweet, actually.
Oh man, that would be sweet.
So that's kind of a what I would say first for them, or is that just something they're putting their name on and somebody else is doing it?
I have not. Well, either way, it's a first. Regardless, it's a first. I don't know. I don't know that the U.S. Mint subs out any work. My guess is that it's going to be done in house, and they're exploring it too. They saw what I was doing. They're like, "Well, if Tommy's doing it, we got to do it."
That's right.
Join the club.
Yeah, right.
But it's interesting. We talked about failure rates. One of the things I'd love to just bring up is the expansion of the market. When I say, for example, that here at Team Stacking NYC, we didn't invent this. I like to say and pretend and think it's true that we made it cool on social media. I was probably the first to kind of do it in the community, as we say. And right around the time we started doing it, like instantly I heard, "Oh, someone was going to do it." Oh, boom, boom, boom. 2 years later, I can name 5 guys that have a machine. Right?
That's wild. Yeah.
It is wild. And here's the funny thing. It's diminishing returns in an expanding market. So people say, "Oh, colorization is slowing down." It's not. No, it's not. It is absolutely not. But when you have 10 different people doing it, reaching out to 1,000 dealers instead of 2 people doing it, reaching out to 100.
Right.
It feels slower,
mm-hmm.
but it's sort of like it's slower, like a big ship takes a minute to turn.
Sure.
And that's sort of where we're at. It feels slower, but it's just becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. I would say, and this is a story I love. I've only done maybe a couple thousand, 2,000-3,000 Libertads, right? 2023. But I've really looked at some back emails, at this, at that. I would venture to say that in 2023, you're going to have about 100,000 colorized Libertads.
Believe it.
1 ounce.
Yeah.
Okay. So meaning that, like, with a mintage of around 600,000, you're talking about over 15%, somewhere between 15 and 20% of the Libertad mintage for 2023 will be colorized.
Whew.
That's
big.
That's
numbers.
Cool. Flip one of them as a
cool.
tip down south.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of cool. So the market is big. The market is expanding. It's cooling dealer to dealer, manufacturer to manufacturer, but overall, it's growth.
I think one of the things I like the most about Colorized, and I do have a bunch of Colorized stuff in my stack, is that if you have an idea, you don't have to send it off to get a die, drilled down, and you print your idea onto the coin itself, and it can be whatever coin. It can be an eagle, it can be a blank planchet, whatever. You can come out with something pretty cool, pretty neat.
Absolutely. Number one, fact, what you just said. Number two, it can be done in very small runs.
Oh yeah,
it can be done
right.
in very
Micro
small
mintages or micro runs, we'll call it.
Yep.
Cool.
People reach out to me.
Oh,
all right, give me a minute. I got you.
He's back.
He's
back.
I'm back. But you want 5, you want 10? I got you. I'm gonna take care of people who've supported me over the years. I'm not gonna tell you no. No, I'm too busy for you.
All right.
You got me where I am. Damn right, I'm gonna do 5 for you if you want. You want 2? Sure. All right. Don't take me to that, guys.
Don't quote him on the 2.
That's just for us.
Don't quote him on
for
the
me
2.
and Paul.
Tomorrow I'm gonna have 500 orders for 2 pieces.
Yeah, you said something about 2. Mark me down.
No, but it's
those
true,
mullets.
right?
Can you make 2 of those mullets?
I think that for me, business wise, no matter what I'm doing or where I'm at, to me, it's always going to be about the community first. It will be, Yeah. It's hard for me to separate my business model from the community in any way, shape, or form.
And that's what I like about your live streams too on Instagram. Even though I can't be at every single one, I try and check in and say hello to who's there. And that's how you start. You're doing a sale, but you start by talking to the people first and foremost, which is what should be done anyways.
And you have to build the relationships, as I've tried to mentor people over the years, the one thing I've learned that I would pass on and say again and again is the first rule of social media is be social. The reason people come in the lives, how are you feeling? Because I know you weren't feeling well. I know you had a fever.
Yeah.
How's your kid feeling? Sorry about your loss, this or that. It's because you're doing work behind the scenes in the DMs. I call it work, but it's not. It's just connecting.
Right.
And I think that I don't connect with people because of business. I think that my business does well because I genuinely want to connect with people.
Yeah. Well, when your heart's in the right place, it all comes together. And I think
I told my daughter that recently, my older daughter who's 22. I said, find what you love, right? You're getting ready to finish school. And if you're not happy, don't go into a 9-to-5 workplace where you're going to be miserable.
Trapped.
Take some time off, right? I mean, do something.
I've heard it
makes you happy.
I've heard it said if you're going to work a 9-to-5, that you need to spend from 5 to 9 working on something for yourself.
Yep.
Here we are.
There we are. That's what.
Here we are. No, listen, you guys hustle, and you're a couple of my favorite guys in this world, and
thanks, man. You too.
Yeah. For sure. And we just like talking. And I never thought that this is number 61, right? I never thought it would go this far. I mean, we've missed weeks, but we've recorded 2 in 1 week to where we haven't missed anything. Like, we're dedicated to it, whether or not anybody watches or not. This is how we have our conversation every week. Yeah. We text. I called them this morning. Give me a call when you got a few minutes. And that's just what we like to do, and which makes it great because you're not talking every day. It gives us something to conversate about to keep the flow going.
I would say that that consistency is almost everything in any entrepreneurial endeavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't care what your passion is. You just can't give up. You have to keep going. And you have to keep going at a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
So you can't just keep going with anarchy, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Manic, but you have to set a plan out, right? If you're gonna post a show every Thursday, Friday, whatever, right? Then you have to do it every Thursday. It has to be released at the same time. If it's Thursday at 8 o'clock, it's got to be Thursday at 8 o'clock. That's what it is, man. And, you know, like you said, yeah, can you miss one? Of course. We've all been there, right? But for
I
the
should
most
take that
part,
back. I did miss one.
Just one.
just
The year anniversary show.
Yep, exactly.
You
On
missed your
the
first
50
year
the
anniversary?
52nd episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So I recorded a clip from Lake Huron and edited it and added it. I said, just go ahead and play this at the beginning.
It was Andy Scheckman, right? I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
He skipped out on Andy Scheckman.
I said, dude, they got me working too many hours. I can't turn it away. I got to stay at work. Here, play this at the beginning.
No, that's Andy Scheckman's a great guy. I mean, you want to talk about somebody that knows the business, really does. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with colorization over the next 6 months to a year. One of the reasons I think, you know, it feels like there's headwinds is the same reason it feels like there's headwinds with bullion, right? Silver's now at what, like $34?
Yeah.
After today's dip. Okay, so it's up. I mean, I started in 2018. It's up all but 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Since the time I started. People are buying less. Premiums are lower, but people are buying less. You know, when silver's $20 an ounce, people can afford 5 ounces. When it's $33 an ounce, they can afford 3 ounces. So what happens is, from a dealer's perspective, if I was making $2 an ounce before, that was $10. So I'm making $2 an ounce now, that's $6. So my gross numbers are, you know, 60% more. My profit margin is down.
Yeah.
40%. And that's why people feel like there's headwinds. But the truth is, you know, there are answers to that create long-term business sustainability. I'm not going to give away every answer because I feel like every time I give away answers, I get bit in the butt a little bit, and that's okay. But you know, for us, we're still having record months year over year, which is just phenomenal. And I'm grateful to the community. I'm grateful for you guys for creating energy, for keeping social media an active, involved place, for giving me, you know, your platform to speak on, because I never shut up, you know, from Brooklyn.
Oh, you're always welcome on the show. That helps us, man. It's like, oh, we got Tommy on. We don't have to plan. We just bring him on and let's talk.
That's it. Oh, I'm easy.
Yeah.
We'll bring him on. We'll just listen.
Say, yep. Yeah, sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. What else, Tommy? You know, it's funny. It's funny. Like, I know, like, I'm one of those guys, like, I know I'm like, right? And I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I said, here's why. Because I'm used to doing lives. Mm-hmm. And the last thing you want when you go live,
dead air.
Dead air.
That is.
So I'm like, right? That's my live after almost 7 years of doing lives. I don't. So
no, I mean, well, and again, you have to because you get dead air. People are leaving; they're not staying there. Right. Well, what am I here for? I can look at myself in the mirror and be entertained.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, man. I mean, we love having you on the show. I think it's great.
Thank you.
And I think it's been a while too. It's been probably 4 or 5 months.
Want at least that. I want to say he was early on. Sorry, I don't.
Wasn't I 45 and 47?
See what you did there.
All right. So all right, guys. Here's this. I want to hear what you guys. Start with you, Paulie. What do you think about the future of colorization, from where you're seeing it now to where it's going?
Okay, so I like the idea of it, right? Have I completely bought into it and that's what I'm buying consistently? No. I'm just going to use, again, germanium mint as an example. This isn't any type of publicity for them or whatever. What I like about what they do, and I saw this after the third or so video that I did about those colorized goddesses bars and even the gods bars, right? People were tired of it. Please do something different. And you can read that on their social medias and even my YouTube channel on the comments. People were getting tired of it. They wanted to see something different. But what they still do today is they do bring out minted coins. They have a series that is in like a black and silver Ragnarok series. I've got a couple of them here. They are beautiful, beautiful coins. And that's one thing that they continue to do is what I always say is they're raising the bar on the stuff they do. They're doing different stuff as well.
I've always, I've always got everything near me.
Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere, right? So the thing is, you when you're talking colorized, you have to be very specific in what I guess what you like, right? Am I going to buy something that's got a Grim Reaper on it? Probably not. Would I buy one of those Libertads that you have? I think they are very nice pieces. Is it my style? It's not, but it's definitely somebody's style. I really don't see it going anywhere because it's only going to get better. The stuff that was falling off the coins early on and what's sticking now, I mean, what's next? Who knows? Then next thing you know, you're making raised, ultra high relief colorization without even having ultra high relief silver there. I mean,
we have ways of doing that. It's funny.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like this.
I'm waiting for like some really high end holographic. Like you turn it one way and it's like a lion, the other way it's like the skull of the lion or something.
Yeah, I mean, look what the Spanish Mint is doing with their security device. You turn those coins 4 different ways, you're seeing 4 different images on one security device. That is crazy.
Comsco.
There you go.
Comsco. I always have something laying around for everything. But Comsco does that. This is lenticular.
Yep.
This is
lenticular
of minting, right?
Mm-hmm.
To do with the colorization, we've talked about this. We've talked about holographic effect. Very different processes, right? So we're still in our infancy, as I like to say, after 2 years. But these are all things we're looking at. The high relief sort of printing. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, but it's not impossible.
No, right? And I mean, you'd be to think that it isn't would be wrong. And eventually we're going to see it, and eventually it's going to catch on. It's just what it is.
And you just
like you said, if you make it, they will come, and you'll learn one way or the other whether it's going to work or not.
What you mentioned about, is it for me? Is it not for me? Yeah. One of the things I found with the colorization is that it's like any form of collecting. You hit the nail on the head, right? It's personal. It's what I like. Would I buy this? No. But there are lots of people that would, right? And so you go back to the old standbys, like, would I buy a Louisiana license plate? No. Would I buy a New York plate? Maybe, right? So to each their own. And so that's just sort of how it all evolves. Trump, big seller,
In just the last
Orange Man, good. I said it was bad. Now I'd say he's good.
Just the last few minutes talking here, you've showed us 3 or 4 different pieces that have different colorization on them. You've had that holograph effect where you said the silver kind of helps. You've got the glossy finish. You got the plain. Yep. You got the plain. Just there's Trump's face. That's just a colorized printing. I mean, there's just so much you just showed us in this one episode that there's so much more out there.
Photorealistic. That's a photo.
Yeah.
That's his mugshot, right? No, and absolutely. And I think that when people ask me about, what's the future value going to be like? I'm like, that's up to you. That's up to the consumer.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And it's one of those things that, like, God, I hate to say this, but it's a hater question. What's the future value going to be, Tommy?
Right. You're looking for a flaw.
You're coming at me. Yeah. You're not really asking.
Exactly. I don't have a crystal ball.
Yeah. You're trying to tell me that what I'm producing is going to be. No, it's not. Look at Libertads for the last couple of years plus. They are consistently secondary market. I think we originally sold the Snow for like $89. That's a lot of money for an ounce of silver.
Yeah.
Colorized or not. That's a lot of money in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? I think the last ones that sold were 110, 108
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. They're up there. And for anybody that has listened to me,
the key word he said there, the key word for what he said there is he sold. They sold.
Yeah, sold for. Right, secondary market. Because Snow came out about 8 months ago. What is it going to do 8 years from now? I don't know. 8 years from now, silver might be $100. It might be going for $200. I don't know. Or it might be going for $130, what it's going for now, or close to what it's going for now. Right? So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But what I tell people about any form of collectibles is you buy it because you love it. Number one,
absolutely.
Right? You feel like you're going to be in a liquidity crisis. Stack bullion as well. Get those buffaloes.
That's what we talked about the last time. Get those buffaloes. Hedge your own stack. You don't have to sell that colorized piece because why? You got your buffaloes.
But I will say this, like, just in my last point on this point is that the colorized Libertads do extremely well. I've been talking about Libertads though as a whole for 6 years. The raw Libertads just continuously go up in value. The proof Libertads, the reverse, just go up in value. The colorized version too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right? They're going to outperform the Eagles in most cases. I'm sorry, but it's true. They're going to outperform somebody who's colorizing a maple. They're going to outperform those because they're still ultimately Libertads.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. The way I like to look at it is, you know, if you're on the fence about colorized coins or colorized pieces, it's more like art, and you picture the art being backed by an ounce of silver. So don't look at it as silver. It's art. It's an artistic piece. It's got a micro run, 100, 500 pieces maybe, and not a lot of people are going to have them. So I think when you were talking about the question you posed to Paul, the future of colorized, I really do. I like ennobled. First off, like the ennobled anything, I think they can make those look really cool, whether with gold or ruthenium or whatever. Those 100%. Look fantastic. The colorized adds that second layer of features to it, because you can't pull all of those colors out with ennobling. You can get some blacks, some golds or whatever, but you're not going to get your reds and blues and even like the what is it, the space red or space blue. I've seen those before.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really neat. But when you incorporate a layer of colorization on top, Tommy's going to go get something.
Oh, I got to get something. Sorry.
Go ahead. He's about to show us a multi-layered process, I'm guessing.
Oh yeah.
But to that point is, I think there is a market for it. I think, like you said, Paul, let's look at all of those Trump pieces that he was showing there, right? You were showing all those Trump pieces, Tommy. When I was consistently doing live sales, those suckers sold.
Sure.
So anytime I saw one pop up, usually on like on AG Stacking's, flash sales, he would have a bunch of Trump stuff would come up, and I would snatch up as much as I could of it. Not for myself, because honestly, I don't collect political stuff, but I knew that on my live sales, those were for sure going to sell. And they always brought in a premium. People would fight over them. All right, what you got, Tom?
Oh my God. Neon butterfly.
Shut up. That is cool, man. That is
butterfly.
She looks good.
All right, so that's a Libertad.
That's ruthenium with colorization, isn't it?
It is not ruthenium, believe it or not.
What is it?
This is one of our printing effects.
You did the whole thing in black. Jesus, we can
do anything, but this is a collaboration. We did the printing. Captain Says Bullion did some of the work.
That looks good, man. You can pretty much see the wing scales.
No doubt.
It's just about the way the colors pop off the black. When you're talking about space red or space this or space that, the different finishes, we can hit it. And we're still young. We're still young. We are still learning, We're learning about durability, how to play with the features. Here's a little better view.
Now, are the reeded edges, are those coated also, or? Oh, they are. Look at that. See, that's important, because then you're basically, what is it? Tone proofing, you're patina proofing your coin.
That is correct. And they are, silver is prone to toning.
Yeah.
Humid conditions. I mean, you name it. If it's sitting on a piece of paper, I've seen silver tone from sitting on a piece of paper.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that's artificial toning. I'm like, I guess so. Like, that's what you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, I put down cardboard on my wire rack shelves. If a piece of silver lays, like, oh, that's artificial. I guess so. I mean, is there such a thing as artificial toning? I mean,
I've had that conversation with my brother. Like, what isn't artificial toning?
Yeah.
I mean, And I get that the pens and all that stuff are out there and people will write on it and help speed up the process and come out with these funky looking blues and purples and stuff. But I mean, you got a coin sitting on your desk and it starts to tone faster than, you know, a natural toning process. I mean, what's that natural about just sitting here on my desk?
I just crack an egg on top of it. And
there you go.
So I have done experiments like throughout the years with silver just to see, put it in the oven, put it, you know, in hard-boiled eggs, and I've tried all that.
Yep,
it comes out
I
nasty.
have to. Yeah,
it doesn't come out nice.
No.
So if anybody says, "Oh, for artificial toning, all you got to do is crush hard-boiled eggs," I tried it. Like, no, I promise you, that's not what people are selling as artificially toned.
Right.
You know, most of what is artificially toned, I believe, and this kind of falls into colorization, is
the Electra.
sulfur.
Oh yeah, liver sulfur. Yeah.
They have the pens, they have the this, they have the that, and what you can do is apply it and rub it, and the way you buff it or rub it off, it'll come off in layers. So the way toning works, even when chemically applied or artificially applied, however you want to say it, it typically starts. Now I could be totally wrong. I don't think I'm making this up, but I might be. It sort of follows the rainbow. Right.
Okay.
So you'll sort of get like, you know, your reds, your oranges, your yellows. It'll go into your blues and purples, right? And eventually, it'll just kind of become brown and black. It follows a color spectrum. Maybe that's a better way to say it, right? But you know, when it gets to the black, they call it fatal toning, right? I don't know if you ever heard that term before. No. They call it fatal toning. It's like there's no more toning after that. So something with like orange or blue could be affected further to go to black.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a piece that's orange, it could go further. It could tone further, theoretically.
Right.
Unless it's preserved. Or it might not tone further, but it could, and it could go to black is the terminal process.
Yeah. No, for sure.
If you see something like one of my favorite pieces was man, this is like 2018-19. Reckless Metals did a 10-ounce mermaid. And it's what he did.
Okay.
He applied some liver sulfur and, you know, buffed it and kind of like brought out different effects in this piece. And I mean, now it's not money, but when silver was $18 an ounce, I feel like these bars were getting $350, $400. You know, and they probably get more now because there's only a handful of them out there.
Sure.
Yeah, just to show a little piece. This is one of my first pours that I did with. I did this with Guido. I went to his house and he taught me how to do it. And the toning on this was fantastic, and it was natural. I didn't do any liver sulfur or anything. But over time, now it has like a solid. It looks like black. It doesn't. You can't see any colors. There's maybe a little bit of orange where, like in there. You know,
that is a beautiful, intricate piece, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
wow.
11 ounces. Yeah.
How's Guido doing? I haven't talked to him for a minute.
He's doing good. When we can get a hold of him, he's doing
good.
Good.
I shot him a message before the hurricane come through. I still haven't heard from him. I know he's out there, but
yeah, he's still kicking.
Oh yeah,
still kicking.
Well, Tommy, this was great, man. I don't know. You got any closing thoughts?
A lot of information. Closing thoughts. I think fashion. I think ultimately the consumer decides. I think that 50 years from now, there will be Keystone colorization out in the market.
Yeah.
What it's going to get, I don't know if it gets 3 over spot or 30 over spot. I think buy something if it speaks to you, if you love it. Buy things that balance your stack. So if you get into a liquidity crunch, don't sell the things that you bought because you love and you paid $70 for an ounce. Sell the things that you paid $35 an ounce for $37, or if you have to, $30, whatever. Right. But don't take a haircut on your collectibles. I talk about that all the time, and I'm just like, please don't sell me back your collectibles.
Right.
You know, just don't.
I hear you, man.
It's a big risk for a dealer, and people say, oh, what's the big risk? Well, it's very simple. This is the one thing I say, right? If I'm releasing a piece that's new, and I sell 20 of them, right, and 100 other dealers each sell 20 of them. That's 2,000 sold, right? And either you cancel or you come back to sell it to me again. Guess what? There's already 2,000 sold a week ago. You canceled. Who am I going to sell to now?
Yeah,
I
right.
just sold 2,000, right? Or a year later, who am I going to sell it to? We sold 2,000 of those. I don't know is the answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I know that the deck is stacked against me a little bit, right? We call it hedging your bets, right? So that's the problem with collectibles. I'm going to sell it to you for 100, but you know, I don't think I can get 100 a year from now on every single piece. Superheroes, for sure.
Yeah.
You can't shortchange people on. To me, the strongest collectibles, superheroes, Disney, tarot cards, big.
Really?
The tarot cards are big. Yep.
Good to know.
But you know, after everybody who initially wants them gets them,
Everyone else doesn't care about them.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Dealers get stuck too. And then it becomes attrition.
Yep. Straight. Makes sense.
Well,
this is always fun.
You know what it is.
So when are we all getting together next? Chattanooga?
What date is that?
November 8th to the 10th.
8 to 10.
No way for me. That's getting awfully close to deer season up this way.
I'll be in Virginia. I can't do that one. That's
I'll be driving through Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. You got to go. Make sure you check the roads because I know some of those roads are still closed through North Carolina into Tennessee.
You know,
so check your route.
We just did Locktoberfest.
Okay.
And I was getting the GPS alerts, but it wasn't anything.
Okay.
We had a little bit of traffic. I think it was sort of residuals, a lot of grid maintenance crews on the road.
Okay.
As we never hit North Carolina, but through parts of Virginia and Eastern Tennessee.
Okay.
For sure.
Right on.
Good
stuff.
So,
well, I think that's that. And guys, don't forget, Tommy is on Instagram now. Is you back up on your main account, or is it the Keystone? Let us know that so we know what to leave in the description.
I'm still going live on Keystone Stacking.
Okay.
I think it's Keystone.stacking. Stacking.nyc is still unable to go live because I'm so controversial.
Yeah, we know.
Dang it, Tom.
We saw you beating. We saw you beating that coin.
Beating number 45.
You know if that's the way I really felt, I'd probably be live 24/7. That's what Meta would want.
Right.
You're like, yes, do that more.
So definitely check them out there on Instagram if you got an Instagram account. If you don't have an Instagram account, get out from underneath the rock and make yourself an Instagram account.
Well, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on all the places, Reddit. I don't even know my handle. You know,
you'll see those down below.
Tom, it was a pleasure.
NYC, baby.
That's right.
Stacking NYC, baby.
But you guys are legends. Man, thank you guys for doing what you do. Seriously.
Tthank you, man. Thanks for being on the show.
Tommy. Thanks for joining us, Emil. Thanks for being on time and all that good stuff.
And let me know when I can post this. Like,
when
you make a post, tag me so I can.
Oh yeah, there will be tags.
It'll be up tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a great day, evening, night, whatever you're doing, whenever you're watching this. We will see you on the next one.